What are you really? A name? A body? A story you tell yourself? Alan Watts once said, trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. Let's unravel the illusion and see what lies beyond. In a world buzzing with constant noise where we're pulled in every direction by our digital lives and social roles, we often cling tightly to this idea of me. We curate, perform, defend it, our sense of self. But have you ever questioned who or what that self truly is? Alan Watts, the philosopher who blended Eastern wisdom with Western reason, invites us to break free from this illusion. If I'm not what I think I am, then who am I? And how could this realization shift the way we navigate modern life? Together, let us wander into this question, like stepping quietly into a vast, boundless sea. The illusion of separateness. Alan Watts believed that the idea of a fixed, separate self is a myth we tell ourselves, a story born from language and reinforced by habit. He compared the self to a wave in the ocean. It appears singular, identifiable, but can you ever truly separate it from the water that forms it? The wave exists only in relation to the vast ocean, moving with its tides shaped by the winds. And so it is with us. But here's where it becomes fascinating. Our minds often resist this truth. You see, we craft barriers where there were none, walls of ego that divide me from you, us from the world. This illusion can populate our days with separation, competition, and loneliness. Pause for a moment. Scan your life. How often do we act as if we are entirely apart from the people, the earth, or even the vast sweep of time that shaped us? But what if this separateness were only skin deep, an illusion as thin as a ripple on the surface of the sea? Think of this, a drop of water never exists alone. Every drop cycles through rivers, clouds, oceans, and life itself. If you look closely, is it ever just a drop? Like that drop, you too are not fixed or isolated. Your actions ripple outward, and the world flows through you, whether through your thoughts, the air you breathe, or the hands you hold. As Watts so aptly said, you and I are all as much continuous with the physical universe as a wave is continuous with the ocean. Transcending the ego. Watts often described the ego as a trickster, a mechanism of survival that convinces us we're solid, contained, and in control. But here's the twist. The more we try to reinforce this facade, clinging, posturing, resisting, the more suffering it breeds. The ego doesn't want change or uncertainty, yet life is nothing but change in flowing currents. Imagine trying to dam a river with your bare hands. Exhausting, isn't it? Like grasping at water, the tighter we hold onto our sense of self, the more it slips away. Watts urges us instead to let go, to transcend this illusion of separateness and discover the wonder of being fluid, dynamic, interconnected. Life, he suggests, is not a problem to be solved, but a dance, a rhythm we're already a part of, whether we realize it or not. Picture the wind moving through a field of tall grass. Each blade sways individually, but the movement is one continuous flow, inseparable from the wind itself. The ego wants us to believe we're single blades, alone in our swaying, but in truth, the dance of the wind touches all. As Watts put it, man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun. What if you could let go of that seriousness, that rigid sense of self, and instead move with life? So I ask you, how might your daily life change if you stopped seeing yourself as separate? Imagine each moment for what it truly is, not you versus the world, but you as the world, moving with it, not against it. When you argue with a loved one, could remembering your connection shift the conversation? When you feel overwhelmed, could surrendering your ego bring clarity? Tonight, take a moment. Let the boundaries of you dissolve, if only for a breath, and see what it feels like to simply be. As we bring these reflections to a close, remember this. The self you fear losing is but a shell. And beyond that shell lies the infinite ocean of being. To let go of the illusion of the self is not to lose yourself. It is to find that you were never separate to begin with. This, dear traveler, is where freedom begins. Shall we dance with the current or resist its flow? The choice is yours. Have you ever experienced a moment where you felt deeply connected to the world around you, as if you dissolved into something greater? What was it like? In what ways do you notice your ego acting as a barrier between you and others, or even between you and peace? If this exploration sparked a new perspective for you, let's keep wandering. Like, share, and subscribe to Mindscapes as we journey further into the landscapes of philosophy and thought.